Hey guys, it's Raquel. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a ball jointed doll tag, but this one's going to be interesting. For one, it's going to definitely include any other type of doll, including BJDs. However, I am going to be referencing BJDs throughout the video because that is what I primarily collect. Another thing is it kind of touches upon some questions that I saw and some comments that were made on American Girl Films response video to my previous doll tag, as well as a question that I saw on the Ball Jointed Doll Reddit that I thought, I should share what I do in that type of situation because I think it would be very informative for you guys, especially if you're new time doll collectors or are just curious. So the question for today was, where do you buy secondhand dolls? So for me, there are two different methods of buying secondhand dolls. The first method is from friends, and when I say it's from friends, I mean friends of the Ball Jointed doll community that I actually know and have friendships with. These are people that I have met through cons, through YouTube, through whatever means, but I have met them in real life in person and I have formed a friendship with them. So I've purchased a ton of dolls this way. Excuse me. A couple of them would be Zale here, was a secondhand doll purchase, as well as my big boy back here. He was a secondhand doll purchase, as well as this boy over here, and I believe he was as well. I can't fully remember, but I'm pretty sure. And these are dolls that I've purchased from in real life friends that I have in the community. Again, whether I've met them through Anime North, YouTube, whatever, but I have met them in person and I developed a friendship. And these dolls are probably the best way you could buy secondhand dolls. And what I mean by that is your friends, if they're selling a ball jointed doll, they're going to be thrilled that someone they know is going to be taking that doll and loving the doll, dressing them up, and doing their thing. They, I've been told multiple times that my friends have been ecstatic to be able to give me the doll and not have to sell it online because selling online is kind of difficult sometimes. Selling secondhand dolls, so you're not only making your friend happy, you're making yourself happy. You're doing the transaction in person. You get handed the doll in person. You give them the money in person, whether it's cash or through e-transfer or through PayPal, but you have the doll in hand right away when you make the transaction. And that is the safest way to buy secondhand dolls, is from friends. Or at, for example, doll meets or at conventions where you can say, hey, I'm interested in that doll. Yes, let's agree on the price. Yes, let's meet at this location at this time. You meet and you do the exchange in person. That is by far the best way to do it, and it's the safest way to do it, and you get to make someone in your community or a friend of yours happy. The other way you can do it, and this can be applied to both in person, the friends way, or online where you're purchasing and it's shipping, is through Facebook. At least for me, and I know there's other websites, Den of Angels and such. For me, buying a doll off of Facebook has gone decently well. Of course, we've had some, unfortunate incidences, hiccups. The 3D printed dolls I mentioned. My big boy back here, you guys saw the video ages ago where he was damaged and smelled bad and I had to fix him up. There are things that happen that kind of can be out of your control. However, I do my best to go through a checklist, which I'm going to share with you guys before I make a purchase. So, for me, first of all, you have to find a Facebook group, if you're going to go with the Facebook route, that aligns with your beliefs in the community. And what do I mean by that? Well, I don't want to get into the topic. We're not getting into the topic. But we know that there is such thing as recasts. Some Facebook groups don't have them in there, and is legit only. Some do. I'm, again, not touching on the subject. This is not a debate on that, but you choose the Facebook group that aligns with your ball jointed doll or doll beliefs, regardless of what type of doll collector you are. Okay? Once you find a group and you're approved and you're in the group, you want to look for groups that are close by to you. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Close by to you or outside of the area. And if you end up doing more of a globally international type of thing, it happens sometimes, okay? But you find a group that you're comfortable with, you enter the group, you get approved, and now you're faced with a whole bunch of dolls and pictures and stuff like that. The first thing you want to make sure is don't fall in love with the doll right away. You may have dolls that are your wish list dolls that you may find you get really excited, but you have to hold yourself back a little bit because you got to go through the checklist to make sure that when you make this purchase, you're confident that everything will be okay. And yes, sometimes things don't go well and some things don't go your way, but you gotta at least try to make an effort to make sure that everything will go fine. And if shit hits the fan, unfortunately, sometimes things slip through the cracks. But this is what I kind of go through when I look at a doll and I'm like, hey, I want to purchase that doll. This is my checklist. The first thing I look for is the pictures. How many pictures are there? Are there a lot of pictures of different body parts showing different angles? Are there only stock pictures? How descriptive are these pictures? What do these pictures tell me? So the first thing you're looking for is there going to be a lot of pictures, and are the pictures really descriptive in terms of like showing if there's any scuffs or mentioning scuffs in the description? If the pictures are a lot and it shows the doll, that's a good sign because they're not hiding anything or they're trying not to hide anything. The next thing would be the description. Does it mention any scuffs, how old the doll is? Does it have a COA, which is a certificate of authenticity? All that stuff. You want to see if the doll has does it have the original box? For me, original boxes aren't necessity, but it's nice when they do come with the original box. Though sometimes those get damaged in transport, so just heads up. So, I look at the description. Have they mentioned any scuffs or stuff like that? Are they being truthful about the doll based on the pictures? If it looks like they've mentioned some scuffs here and there and mentioned some defects, that's a good sign because the seller is not hiding anything. If they don't mention anything, it doesn't mean that they're hiding something. Just, it's a good sign when they do mention anything like that because it means that, the doll's been loved and they are being truthful in what they're selling. So after the pictures and the description, I look at the price. Does it meet my budget before shipping, before taxes? Because you may get taxed at the border, have to pay duties on it, whatever. This has happened to me 1,000 times. So you got to make sure that your budget, and you have to guesstimate here because you never know how much they're going to ding you for. If you're going to buy a doll that isn't coming from your immediate area and is maybe coming overseas, because I've had that happen before, you got to make sure that your budget can account for both the cost of the doll, the shipping, and any import fees. So don't buy a doll that's way too out of your budget because that won't be good for you, and then you're going to panic. Then there's going to have negativity towards your doll, and then that's not a great start. So once I figure out the pictures, the description, and the price, I contact the seller and be, hey, is it still available? If it's still available, you're good. If it's not still available, say let me look for another one, okay? But the next thing you want to ask about is shipping. Give them a general postal code. For example, the postal code of your local post office. That's a perfect one, okay? Give them your postal code. Give them where you live. Get them to give you exact shipping cost by weight. Because you want to know exactly how much it's going to be shipped. And on top of that, you want to make sure that it's tracked. You want a package that is going to be tracked once it hits the States or Canada. If it's outside. Even if it's not outside of the States or Canada, you want to make sure it's tracked so you can keep tabs on where it is and if it's arrived to you. If you want to go even more protective on it, which will be more expensive, but may be a good idea to invest in, is you go for a signature as well, where when the doll arrives, you have to sign for it. And if you're not there to pick it up right away, it'll go to your local post office, and then you go there to pick it up and sign for it. So you want to do something like that to make sure that you know where your doll is at all times during travel, and you know that it's going to get to you securely and you can track it. That's the big thing, is you know how much it's going to pay to ship it and tracking. And then, last but not least, and the thing that I stress the most, and everyone stresses the most, but shit happens and a lot of people get fooled. If you are going to pay with PayPal or any service that allows for our friends and family where there's no tax involved and you don't get priced or dinged, no. Period, no. You do not pay friends and family to strangers on the internet. They will steal your money. Even if you're lucky, and they don't steal your money, you get lucky that one time, you were so lucky, because so many people I've heard have been scammed through this method, okay? So you do not pay friends and family. You pay whatever business related one there is where the seller will get fined a certain amount for making the transaction. And that protects you, not only because they have to pay a little percentage, which means that it better damn well be legit, but also if something happens, the doll gets severely damaged in the in the shipping, or you never see the doll and the person's taking your money, you have the tracking number that shows that nothing's happened or that it came. You have pictures, you have evidence, and you can go and you can file a claim to get your money back. And that's a huge thing. You never pay with friends and family. You always pay the business way, whatever app or thing you do, okay? And don't use credit cards or anything like that. It's like that. Especially secondhand. I'm talking about secondhand dolls, okay? You do not pay with friends and family. If they are forcing you and purposely saying, I need to do it with friends and family because I need to pay this bill, my cat's sick, whatever, that is someone trying to scam you. Do not fall for it, okay? If someone is trying to push you into playing friends and family, you get the fuck out and you don't look back. You block them, you get out. Because that is someone trying to scam you and you don't want to be scammed. If after looking at the pictures, looking at the description, looking at the price, getting information about the shipping, and the person sends you an invoice and it is not friends and family and you pay, the regular way, then you're pretty well good. I can't say guaranteed everything will be fine because shit does happen, but it's met all the checklists, and now you've purchased the doll, you have your tracking number, and you wait and you see what happens. And hopefully everything goes well and you get your doll and you're happy. But, I've said many times, I've had issues with this before. But even though I've had things happen, right, I don't discourage it from me buying secondhand. I still buy secondhand, or I did. I've got too many doll boxes to open to buy anything or justify buying anything at this time. But I still advocate for buying secondhand, even with the times that I've been wronged. And it's because secondhand is a great way to purchase dolls, especially if you're new to the community, new to the hobby. You don't want to buy a doll outright for excruciating amounts of money. So that is how I buy my secondhand dolls. How do you guys buy your secondhand dolls? Do you go through Facebook, or do you just do friends that you know? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd really love to hear how you buy your secondhand dolls, because maybe I'll take a look into those as well and see what those are all about. Not right now. Again, have too many boxes, but still. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this doll tag. I'd love to hear you guys, whoever wants to hop onto this tag where you buy your secondhand dolls and how you go about those methods and share your experiences. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, my friends and family, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody!